There is no branch of legitimate business for which the Bible does not afford an essential preparation. Its principles of diligence, honesty, thrift, temperance, and purity are the secret of true success. These principles, as set forth in the book of Proverbs, constitute a treasury of practical wisdom. Where can the merchant, the artisan, the director of men in any department of business find better maxims for himself or for his employees than are found in these words of the wise man? Seest thou a man diligent in his business? He shall stand before kings. He shall not stand before mean men. Proverbs 22:29. In all labor there is profit, but the talk of the lips tendeth only to penury. Proverbs 14:23. He that walketh with wise men shall be wise. Proverbs 13:20. A talebearer revealeth secrets. Therefore meddle not with him that flattereth with his lips. Proverbs 20:19. Go not in the way of evil men. Can one go upon hot coals, and his feet not be burned? Proverbs 4:14, 6:28. The whole circle of our obligation to one another is covered by that word of Christ's. Whatsoever ye would that men should do to you, do ye even so to them. Matthew 7:12. How many a man might have escaped financial failure and ruin by heeding the warnings so often repeated and emphasized in the Scriptures. He that maketh haste to be rich shall not be innocent. Proverbs 28:20. Wealth gotten in haste shall be diminished, but he that gathereth by labor shall have increase. Proverbs 13:11. The getting of treasures by a lying tongue is a vanity tossed to and fro of them that seek death. Proverbs 21:6. These are principles with which are bound up the well-being of society, of both secular and religious associations. It is these principles that give security to property and life. For all that makes confidence and cooperation possible, the world is indebted to the law of God as given in His Word and as still traced in lines often obscure and well-nigh obliterated in the hearts of men. Even in this age of passion for money-getting, when competition is so sharp and methods are so unscrupulous, it is still widely acknowledged that, for a young man starting in life, integrity, diligence, temperance, purity, and thrift constitute a better capital than any amount of mere money. Yet even of those who appreciate the value of these qualities and acknowledge the Bible as their source, there are but few who recognize the principle upon which they depend. That which lies at the foundation of business integrity and of true success is the recognition of God's ownership, the Creator of all things. He is the original proprietor. We are His stewards. All that we have is a trust from Him, to be used according to His direction. This is an obligation that rests upon every human being. It has to do with the whole sphere of human activity. Whether we recognize it or not, we are stewards, supplied from God with talents and facilities, and placed in the world to do a work appointed by Him. To every man is given his work. Mark 13:34. the work for which his capabilities adapt him, the work which will result in greatest good to himself and to his fellow men, and in greatest honor to God. Thus, our business or calling is a part of God's great plan, and so long as it is conducted in accordance with his will, he himself is responsible for the results. Laborers together with God. Our part is faithful compliance with his directions. Thus, there is no place for anxious care. Diligence, fidelity, caretaking, thrift, and discretion are called for. Every faculty is to be exercised to its highest capacity, but the dependence will be not on the successful outcome of our efforts, but on the promise of God. The word that fed Israel in the desert and sustained Elijah through the time of famine has the same power today. Be not therefore anxious, saying, "What shall we eat?" or "What shall we drink?" Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Matthew 6:31-33. He who gives men power to get wealth has with the gift bound up an obligation. Of all that we acquire, he claims a specified portion. The tithe is the Lord's. All the tithe of the land, whether of the seed of the land or of the fruit of the tree, the tithe of the herd or of the flock, shall be holy unto the Lord. Leviticus 27-30, 32. The pledge made by Jacob at Bethel shows the extent of the obligation. Of all that thou shalt give me, he said, I will surely give the tenth unto thee. Genesis 28-22. Bring ye all the tithes into the storehouse. Malachi 3:10 is God's command. No appeal is made to gratitude or to generosity. This is a matter of simple honesty. The tithe is the Lord's, and he bids us return to him that which is his own. If honesty is an essential principle of business life, must we not recognize our obligation to God, the obligation that underlies every other? By the terms of our stewardship, we are placed under obligation, not only to God, but to men. To the infinite love of the Redeemer, every human being is indebted for the gifts of life. Food and raiment and shelter, body and mind and soul, all are the purchase of his blood. And by the obligation of gratitude and service thus imposed, Christ has bound us to our fellow men. He bids us, by love serve one another. Galatians 5:13. Inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me. Matthew 25-40. By all that has blessed our life above others, we are placed under obligation to every human being whom we might benefit. These truths are not for the closet more than for the counting room. The goods that we handle are not our own, and never can this fact safely be lost sight of. We are but stewards, and on the discharge of our obligation to God and man depend both the welfare of our fellow beings and our own destiny for this life and for the life to come. There is that scattereth, and yet increaseth, and there is that withholdeth more than is meet, but it tendeth to poverty. Cast thy bread upon the waters, for thou shalt find it after many days. The liberal soul shall be made fat, and he that watereth shall be watered also himself. Proverbs 11:24-25, Ecclesiastes 11:1. Labour not to be rich. Wilt thou set thine eyes upon that which is not? For riches certainly make themselves wings. They fly away as an eagle toward heaven. Proverbs 23:4-5. Give, and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down, and shaken together, and running over, shall men give into your bosom. For with the same measure that ye mete withal, it shall be measured to you again. Luke 6:38. Honour the Lord with thy substance, and with the first fruits of all thine increase. So shall thy barns be filled with plenty, and thy presses shall burst out with new wine. Proverbs 3-9. 10. He who makes this investment lays up double treasure, besides that which, however wisely improved, he must leave at last. He is amassing wealth for eternity, that treasure of character which is the most valuable possession of earth or heaven. The Bible shows also the result of a departure from right principles in our dealing both with God and with one another. To those who are entrusted with his gifts but indifferent to his claims, God says, "Consider your ways. Ye have sown much, and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes. Ye looked for much, and lo, it came to little. And when ye brought it home, I did blow upon it. When one came to an heap of 20 measures, there were but 10. When one came to the press fat, for to draw out 50 vessels out of the press, there were but 20. Why, saith the Lord of hosts, because of mine house that is waste. Will a man rob God? Yet ye have robbed me. But ye say, wherein have we robbed thee? In tithes and offerings. Therefore the heaven over you is stayed from dew, and the earth is stayed from her fruit. Haggai 1-5, 2:16, Malachi 3-8, Haggai 1:10. The accounts of every business, the details of every transaction, pass the scrutiny of unseen auditors, agents of him who never compromises with injustice, never overlooks evil, never palliates wrong. Against every evildoer, God's law utters condemnation. He may disregard that voice, he may seek to drown its warning, but in vain it follows him. It makes itself heard. It destroys his peace. If unheeded, it pursues him to the grave. It bears witness against him at the judgment. A quenchless fire, it consumes at last soul and body. What shall it profit a man, if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? Mark 8:36-37. This is a question that demands consideration by every parent, every teacher, every student, by every human being, young or old. No scheme of business or plan of life can be sound or complete that embraces only the brief years of this present life and makes no provision for the unending future. Let the youth be taught to take eternity into their reckoning. Let them be taught to choose the principles and seek the possessions that are enduring to lay up for themselves that treasure in the heavens, that faileth not, where no thief approacheth, neither moth corrupteth, to make to themselves friends by means of the mammon of unrighteousness, that when it shall fail, these may receive them into the eternal tabernacles. Godliness is profitable unto all things, having promise of the life that now is, and of that which is to come. 1 Timothy 4-8.